Welcome to the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals. I'm Joshua Hauser, the district manager here at the Good Feet Store in Altoona. As America's arch support experts, we believe everyone deserves to live the life they love, free from foot, knee, or back pain. From our local athletes on the field to our friends, family, and neighbors, life is a journey we all take one step at a time. Let your local Good Feet Store help you take that journey without pain. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we hope you enjoy the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals.
Military Appreciation Night here in Claysburg as Bedford welcomes Clearfield for week number 2 of our Good Feet Store Friday Night Rivals broadcast presented by Levin Furniture. Moments away from the coin toss and the opening kickoff here tonight. Brian Tripp, Rick Call, and our entire outstanding team. Rick, it's surprising to see Clearfield and Bedford meet here in week number 2, and neither team have a win. They're younger teams this year. We talked about it, but very proud, historic programs. And leaning into that tradition, you expect both of these teams to get better as the year goes. And who knows by the time we get into mid-October where they'll be.
Yeah, who knows? And one of the reasons I expect them to get better as the year goes on is their coaching. You got Miles Carragine, the former Pitt standout on one side, Kevin Steele on the other side, two guys who are tremendous head coaches. And they're going to find the weaknesses they have. They're going to fix those. They're going to move forward.
Clearfield, a tough loss in week number 1, 28-21 against Bellwood Antis. Bellwood Antis' Alex McCartney scored the game-winning touchdown late in that ball game. Meanwhile, Bedford going against the team this year, Bishop McCourt, that many think could be a powerhouse, fell 39-7, and Bedford, we'll touch on it throughout the course of the broadcast, playing here their home games this year at Claysburg, where we were last week for week number 1. With their stadium and their entire high school under renovation right now. Let's go down to the field here as we get ready for tonight's coin toss prior to the game. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like and sound like we're going to be able to pick up the microphone and the audio from our referee, Ray Klinger, tonight. Clearfield in the white jerseys and Bedford in their military appreciation blues. So, like you at home, we will wait and see. We may hear from Ray here in just a moment. And it looks like Bedford deferred. At least that's what I'm gathering in from the hand signals from Ray. And it looks like Clearfield probably will get the football to start tonight's ball game, but we'll clarify that in just a moment. Rick, can't wait for this game. I think these are two teams that have a lot of talent, a lot of youth, and a lot still to learn about those teams. We talked to both head coaches, and the old adage, right, an old Joe Paterno saying the biggest improvements are from week 1 to week number 2.
And there's so much truth to that because you find out when you first get into that first game what you're doing wrong and where you need the help, and then you correct them that first week of practice going into week 2, that first week of game practice, and these guys make great adjustments, and we'll see what comes out of this here. Like I said, both teams so well coached, Brian.
Yeah, it's a Clearfield team that you saw there huddled up on the sideline. When we talked to Miles Carragine, he said that they had a great week of practice. Outstanding week. They got in to watch film on Sunday. They were going to do film and then another workout. Ended up watching film for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was time to go back home. They didn't actually get to their second work because the kids were so motivated to get better. I know Kevin Steele had that same sense with his group after a tough loss in week 1.
And those are the kind of guys you want to coach, guys who want to learn, guys who want to get better. And we'll see how it transpires here tonight. But like you said, these are two good football teams, two great historically tradition-rich programs.
You mentioned it, Clearfield, their last losing season was in 1995, Rick, and for Bedford, only one losing season since 2017. Both these teams made deep runs into the PIAA playoffs last year. Clearfield in Quad A into the quarterfinals where they fell 35-0 against Thomas Jefferson. And, of course, Bedford, a 10-4 year last year in Class 2A, the champions of District 5, went all the way to the quarterfinals and fell there to Troy. So two teams that had outstanding years a year ago, and now with this new cast of characters under the bright lights of Friday night, looking to get things moving in the right direction. Temperature 70 degrees right on the nose here at kickoff tonight on this August 29th. beautiful, beautiful evening for high school football. Week number 2 of our presentation of the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. I stand corrected. Bedford's getting the ball to start here with Clearfield kicking it away. And we'll get a look at that Bedford Bison's offense for the first time. An offense has some playmakers that they can spread the ball around to. The question tonight will be, how do they handle that physicality of Clearfield all night long?
Clearfield a little bit bigger. We'll see if Bedford can match that. That was one of the keys to the game. You have to match Clearfield, physicality, because they come out and they hit, and they take no quarter, they give no quarter.
Let's do it. Cash Deal will kick it away for Clearfield, and off we go in week number 2 of our slate of high school football. Great to be with you once again, spinning his way out across the 30-yard line to the 31-yard line. Ethan Yoakum, and that's where Bedford begins here in week number 2 with Gabe Taylor, the sophomore at quarterback. Only 1 or 2 seniors we'll see in the lineup all night long for a very, very young Bison's team.
Yeah, and you kind of rely on those seniors. When you're that young of a football team, you look up to those guys, and those guys have to lead the way.
One of those seniors in the slot to the left of Taylor, Andrew Evans. He's joined in the backfield by Carter Kozelik, a sophomore. Evans comes in motion, looking to pave the way. Instead, it's Taylor off the left side, picks up maybe a yard. And let's meet that Bedford offense. Our starting lineups are brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch supports experts. Taylor, Evans, Kozelik, Ringler Steele, Living Good Steele, the coach's son, as a freshman, had 5 catches to pace the offense last week for Bedford, in a group up front that will have its hands full against what is an always big Clearfield defensive line. Call it 2 on that first down pickup. It's 2nd down and 8. Taylor to the air for the first time in plenty of time, unlike week number 1, throws into tight coverage, and there is Bennett Steele making the grab. It's a 13-yard pickup and a first down. That is brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com. And a nice play by the freshman wideout.
Well, I'll tell you what, a great job by the offensive line, too, to give them some support, some time there. Kevin Still said they got beat decisively on the line of scrimmage last week. Right there, they held up and gave him some time. He spotted his receiver and threaded the needle.
See if they help Taylor tonight as well with some extra protection for the quarterback. Here is Andrew Evans, barrels up the gut, picks up 3, and that will give us a chance now to look at that Clearfield defense. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. It's a veteran experienced group of linebackers in that secondary. It's the back 7, conversely, for Clearfield. We'll talk about the size up front, but it's that back 7 where the experience lies. 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard pickup on the first carry of the night for Andrew Evans. Senior had just 3 carries for 1 yard in week 1 as Bedford was playing catch-up much of the way against Bishop McCourt. Taylor throws into traffic, and Deal, dropping back, nearly had the interception in zone coverage, and it's now a 3rd and 6.
I think that might have been a little miscommunication there as Gabe Taylor thought he was going to cut that route off, and he put it a little bit behind him on the back shoulder, and you saw him coming up to the line of scrimmage saying, that's my fault. And I think that was a little miscommunication there between quarterback and receiver, Brian.
Taylor takes over, Rick, at quarterback this year for Quincy Swaim, who was a true dual-threat player last year. Threw for almost 1,000 yards, but it was really what he did with his legs, running for over 1,800 yards last year. Living Good in motion on the jet sweep. Cash, he carries it across midfield. He'll pick up a pair of yards, but it's going to be 4th and about 4. And it looks like Bedford will send on the punting unit here to play the field position game on this opening possession.
And that's the right decision. Kick this football away. Trust your defense. Try to pin Clearfield back deep.
Clearfield, speaking of pinning them deep, has no one back in punt return position with the Ethan Yoakum on to punt. Yoakum does kick it away, and if he gets a friendly hop here, they could really pin the Bison deep. It's a race for the football, and the ball stays out of the end zone. It is down at the 6. And that is excellent special teams coverage by a whole host of Bedford Bisons.
Take that to 7-yard line for Clearfield.
Bennett Steele was down there leading the way, number 5, as well as Jamie Ringler. That's just great coverage on special teams with no one back for Clearfield to handle the punt.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that. And you said, as the ball's in the air, if he gets a friendly hop here, which he did, and great execution by that special teams unit.
So tough sledding here for Xavier Curry and the Clearfield offense on their first possession of the game. Obviously, this is an offense replacing Brady Collins, one of the top rushers in the state last year, and really in PIAA history, ran for over 2,600 yards last season. He was the bell cow. Both these teams looking for new bell cows or to spread it around, right? We don't know yet what the identity will be like here this season. And immediately they're going to feed Colton Ryan up the middle. You can see his burst as he gets to the line of scrimmage, picks up 3 before he runs in to the teeth of that Bedford defense. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Clearfield offense. It's brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Colton Ryan, we spotlighted him in the top of our broadcast tonight. Elijah Glunt, Cash Deal, Landon Rankin, also some talent on the outside. Question will be that efficiency you talked about for Xavier Curry, who's in his second season as the starting quarterback, the senior who made the transition from wide receiver to QB last year. And pretty nice to have a guy like Colton Ryan in your backfield. Picks up 7, just keeps churning those legs. It's a first down brought to you by UMH Properties.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Brian. Even after contact, he kept the leg drive going, was able to pick up additional yardage, and that all-important first down. Now they're out of the shadow of their own goal line.
That's what Miles Carrageen said to us, reflecting on last week's game. He said the guys got better as the game went on. He also learned what his team could do as the game went on. Elijah Glunt looking to turn the corner, and he's tracked down after a 6-yard pickup. Let's take a look at that Bedford defense. And our starting lineups tonight are again brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts, and another group of linebackers that's experienced for this group of Bisons.
And that was a heck of a read right there by the defender, Kozelik. He diagnosed that play early, and that could have been a much bigger game, but he went in and made a good open field tackle also.
Kozelik among 4 sophomores starting in the defensive backfield tonight, and this time Ryan bottled up. He still stays on his feet. Picked up maybe getting that ball back to the line of scrimmage, but all sorts of traffic on that outside. Andrew Evans leads the charge for Bedford, and now Clearfield is faced with a 3rd and about 4. They did give forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. Curry scurries and jets upfield, carries it across the 35-yard line to the 36. Give him 9 yards and another first down, brought to you by UMH Properties. Once he planted that foot, Rick, he was able to pick up plenty of yardage for the first.
Yeah, it was a good burst right there. Some good blocking out in front of him. Looked like Bedford had that play diagnosed early, and they were going to be able to make the stop. But Curry with the athleticism.
He was dangerous on his feet last week. He had 7 carries for 66 yards. That's an average of over 9 yards per carry. And last year, ran for over 100 yards on the year, a couple of touchdowns, playing in a complementary role to the excellent Brady Collins, who his coach Miles Carrageen told us was special and one of a kind. And you just don't replace that type of player with one guy on your offense. And Carrageen and that Clearfield offense going to take a timeout here. First timeout of the ball game comes with 6:21 to go. Here in the opening quarter, we're scoreless on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Clearfield takes their first timeout in the first half with 6:21 now remaining here in the first quarter.
We're pleased to announce the return of the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest, sponsored by Usco Federal Credit Union. One deserving senior Scholar Athlete will receive a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of Usco Federal Credit Union. Complete rules are available on WJACTV.com/contest. All athletes are selected by their school's athletic directors or principals. After a Clearfield timeout, first down and 10 for the Bison at the 36-yard line on their opening possession here of the ball game. Curry with a man in motion gets it to the speedy Cooper Broad. Broad tossed down by Evans at the 41, a 5-yard pickup, and they're staying ahead of the chains on first down.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's been a good opening drive for Clearfield so far. They've mixed it up, pass, run. They've gotten some people involved.
And we've seen the decision-making for Xavier Curry so far, a leader who Miles Carrageen, the head coach, says always puts his team in the right position, and that's a big reason why they're leaning on the senior in that starting role for the second straight year as the quarterback. That was certainly on display on that 3rd and 4 pickup earlier on this possession for Clearfield. O'Brien Owens with his first carry picks up 3, and now another 3rd down facing this Bison offense.
Yeah, he got stood up pretty quickly as he got possession of that football, just trying to go again right at the teeth of that Bedford defense. Bedford pretty strong up front on that defensive line so far in this football game.
Yeah, sorry about that, Rick. Using that size and physicality, Owens, experienced, a senior, right? They've got some veteran guys, Chamberlain and, of course, Colton Ryan, who checks back in and joins Curry in the backfield here on 3rd and 2. They check to the sideline. And it is Ryan, sidesteps one, drags a defender. He's out across midfield. 7 yards for Ryan, and another first down brought to you by UMH Properties.
8 plays so far on this drive. It started at their own 7. They're just grinding it out, eating up the clock.
Running right into that Bison's defense. That is without Johnny Ingraham, one of their defensive tackles tonight. Ethan Yoakum getting the start there. That's a key cog to lose on the offensive and defensive line after getting beat physically in week 1. Downfield, Curry and the ball in and out of the grasp of his intended target. Cash deal. Great help coming over top from Kozelik and company there in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, right down the seam. It was a nicely thrown football. And he had it for a moment, but the safety came over Kozelik and put a good pop into him and jarred that football loose.
Gabe Taylor also back there in coverage as Curry had something there down the seam, in and out of the hands of Deal, who you see there. Lines up this time on the perimeter to the left of Curry, who keeps it himself and gains 3. And for the 3rd time on this opening possession for Clearfield, a 3rd down upcoming.
Yeah, they've been successful on all their 3rd down opportunities so far, converting them into first downs. See if they have another one in them here, and they are going to keep the offense on the field. We saw Bedford get just into plus territory on their first drive, and they kicked the football away.
Let's see if they go back to the air here with Curry, instead trying to catch the defense snapping, and it is Ryan who zips his way up the middle for 8.5 and another first down, brought to you by UMH Properties, and they are keeping this drive going with now their 3rd down conversion on this opening possession.
Yeah, I was wondering what they were going to do, kind of looking ahead to see if they were going to kick it away or keep the offense on the field on 4th down. And they decided to just pick it up on 3rd down, Brian, not have to make that decision. How about that?
Ryan had 88 yards in week number 1 with the touchdown, ran for nearly 5 yards per carry. Yeah, once you cross midfield, high school football,
you never know.
All bets are off.
You never know.
What a gorgeous night this is. Having fun watching this one between Clearfield and Bedford, week number 2. Brian Tripp, Rick Hall, great to be with you. And great to watch a guy like Colton Ryan, who has been the bell cow here so far. And again, staying ahead of the chains, he picks up 3. Evans in the middle of that again, coming up from his linebacker spot to help make the tackle. Say Wagner up there as well.
3-yard gain. But now be 2nd and 7, Clearfield.
A time consuming opening possession here for Clearfield. Bedford got the ball out to about midfield and then punted it away on a 4th and 4. Curry throws outside. It was a forward pass. It is incomplete as Glunt hustled back to recover the football. But an incomplete pass. Now another 3rd down facing the Bison.
And they've done it all on the run so far. Colton Ryan picking up a couple of first downs on runs on 3rd down. Right there, heads up play by Glunt, though, just to make sure that play was going to be rolled a forward pass, not a backward pass, and subsequently be a live football.
Ryan already up to 35 yards here tonight. 3 for 3 on 3rd downs, and here is Curry with O'Brien Owens in the backfield this time. He collides with Ryan. Curry spins, taking it right up the gut. Picks up 6. He'll be a yard shy of the first down. Kozelik spun him down on the play. 4th and 1 coming up here for Clearfield. And look at that clock continuing to run here on this first possession, down to nearly 2 minutes to play already here in this opening quarter. No hesitation here from Miles Carrageen. Offense stays on the field. Hard count does not draw the defense offside. I know where I'd go. Rick?
I'd go with Colton Ryan. And he gets the football.
And
I don't know if he got
did not get that. Great play by Bryce Wirtz. The middle linebacker came in, number 50. You see him right there at the bottom of the pile. He made the stop, and what a stand by the Bedford defense. No score, 1:47 left, opening quarter. We'll be back after this on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. They changed. Bedford has the ball now.
Wow, 15 plays.
And thank you once again to our game sponsors, Bedford American Legion and 3 Enterprise on 3rd downs.
Yep.
Also want to thank our post-game deal sponsors, Michael Means, State Farm Insurance, and Cape Air Trucking, 3L Farms. We appreciate all these businesses and their support of Bedford football.
Right at the end of the drive. Well, the sun's gone.
Coming up at halftime, Wendy's salutes local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. Speaking of that halftime, coming up, make sure you keep watching for the UPMC halftime report. We'll look at the highlights from around the country from last week, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation, as we just told you, and the USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. Temperature is going to dive down tonight. I saw northern Pennsylvania, some frost advisories have been posted. Gorgeous night for high school football. It feels like football season here as we go into the 60s here. The sun finally setting off in the horizon, as you could tell in the open of the broadcast. Obscuring our view for early here in this ballgame. Each team just one possession so far and no score. Clearfield 15 plays but stymied on a 4th and short by that Bedford defense. Really good run here, dancing and zigzagging his way. Kozelik takes it out for 8, and that's a good start to this possession for the Bisons.
Yeah, that's a great start, and he was contacted after about 4 yards, and he was able to pick up some yards after contact there and make it one of those second downs, Brian, where you can really just open the playbook up.
And that's something they didn't have an opportunity to do last week because they were playing from behind for so long. And this is just one outstanding run.
Now, he might have been contacted about 2 yards, actually, not even 4 yards.
Great run by Kozelik, best running play of the night for Bedford. And this time he is paving the way for his quarterback, Taylor, who does pick up 3 and a first down off the left side. Chamberlain made the tackle for Clearfield, and that first down again brought to you by UMH Properties. That defense was just out there for a long time for Bedford. And for both these schools, a lot of players playing both ways, playing on special teams. But you'd love to keep the football here for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't get as tired when you're on offense. Chasing takes a lot more out of you.
This could be the final play of this opening quarter here already. And it is Andrew Evans up the middle. That is a physical run. He emerges from the pile, still on his feet. He might have a first down. I think so, based on the spot. What a way for Andrew Evans to pick up the first, dragging defenders with him. That could be a Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee right there.
Brian, we talked about Bedford matching the physicality of Clearfield. So far they have. They have been every bit as physical as Clearfield.
And that is a first down for Bedford. And that's going to take us to the end of this opening quarter. Our live streaming tonight is brought to you by UPMC, as we welcome our audiences in no matter where you may be joining us. One quarter is in the books. We are scoreless here. Clearfield and Bedford. No score after one here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Let's go there. That's where that...
Not a whole lot to pick from there in that opening quarter. Each team just one full possession. And as we take a look at Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter, it is the leg drive for Andrew Evans on the final play of that first quarter, as he picked up 10 yards and a first down with Bedford on its second possession of this game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. And now you can see both teams settling in here in Claysburg on this gorgeous Friday night for high school football. Brian Tripp, Call, and our entire outstanding crew. Great to be with you for week number 2. And these two teams look anything but a pair of 0-1 football teams. They're playing fundamentally sound and physical football so far.
Yeah, so far it's been a really good game. And again, the physicality comes into play. And Kevin Steele said Bedford got beat decisively at the line of scrimmage last week. They are holding their own this week against a little bit bigger interior line from Clearfield. They're playing well.
No greater challenge. If you got beat physically in week number 1, then you have Bedford staring down your schedule in week number 2. Nice pitch and catch with Evans there for 5 over the middle. And once again, Bedford staying ahead of the sticks here on this drive. Ryan made the tackle. Yeah, you never want to say, hey, we struggled physically in week number 1 up front, and then all of a sudden Clearfield come into town.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Second down, and we'll call it 4 after that pitch and catch from Taylor to Evans on first down. Nowhere to go this time for that Bedford offense. as we check out tonight's American Legion County Fair fan cam. And remember to enjoy the American Legion County Fair in Ebensburg August 31st through September 6th. Might be a neutral site game, but fans traveling in for Bedford making the drive up 99, a couple of miles here tonight. And I know that their athletic director, Brett Smith, and the entire group from Bedford, so thankful that Claysburg Kimmel has welcomed them in with open arms to host their games here in 2025. This is an outstanding facility. Big third down here, and it is on the money on the outside to Gray Livingood, a very, very dangerous wideout. Picks up about 10, and it is a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet, where cars cost less in Claysburg. And now here on this drive, it's Bedford converting a critical third down.
Yeah, and that was that little rub route, that little pick route right there. Two receivers to the near boundary. One takes off to the inside. He takes off to the outside. You kind of pick off that corner, do it legally, and that opened that up for him.
A couple of really good, accurate throws by Gabe Taylor on this possession. He was 8 for 16 last week, only threw 4 passes all of last season behind Quincy Swain. Here he is again. He is in rhythm. What a throw and catch to Livingood all the way down inside the red zone.
That's a great throw right down the seam, Brian. Same formation as the last play, except this time Livingood doesn't cut to the outside and pick up the short yardage, goes right down the seam, and a perfectly delivered football.
And early his second quarter, that first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. They still could pick up another first down here with the ball spotted at the 13-yard line. A lot of bodies in the backfield for Gabe Taylor, and he is walloped by Colton Ryan, who came through like a jet there and cut his legs out right at the line of scrimmage.
And 19 tackles last week. You mentioned that during our open. 19. You heard that correctly. He had 19 tackles last week, and he's made quite a few already.
That's a big play and prevents Bedford from working ahead of the sticks here as they are down inside the red zone. Ryan coming into the year. Back-to-back 90-plus tackle seasons. One of the anchors returning for this Clearfield defense. They need a big stop here with Bedford on the move. Looking to break a scoreless tie. It is Livingood on target again. And right now, Taylor is in a rhythm. That'll set up a 3rd and 2.
I think that's the right word, Brian. The offense is in rhythm right now. It was just a little post route there, and he put it right in the numbers again. He's delivering a really nice football tonight. Very accurate with his throws.
Offense working with some tempo here, and the ball inside the 5. Must get down to about the 2.5 for a first down. Evans joins Taylor in the backfield. Let's see if they go to the big physical senior fullback. Play clock under 10. Hard count, unable to draw them offside. It is Taylor himself with a convoy all the way to the goal line, and he is just shy of the end zone. Great lead blocking on that play off the left side for Gabe Taylor. It's a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
Yeah, design run all the way, and he had some horses out in front of him. They were able to push that bigger Clearfield defensive line back.
What a statement here for Bedford on its second possession. Knocking on the door. It is Evans. And it is a Bedford touchdown. That touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts.
Took a while for them to signal. Wasn't sure if he was in, but he indeed got in. The 1-yard plunge, and Bedford strikes first in this football game.
So Bedford playing with the lead after playing catch-up all last week. Very few possessions so far here in this game. Under 8 minutes to play here in this opening half. Owen Lance to attempt the point after. And the way this is going, every point will be critical tonight. Fine leg there from Lance. He knocks it through. It's a 7-0 Bedford Bison's lead. Great drive put together by Bedford. They're in front here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. What a drive put together by Bedford. 10 plays, 71 yards, spanning from the first quarter into the second, capped by Andrew Evans taking it in from 1 yard out. Had a couple of rushing touchdowns last year, including in the postseason against Troy. Really wasn't a big focal point of the offense last week, playing catch-up, and Bedford on its second possession puts together a mightily impressive drive there. Anchored not by Evans, but by that passing attack. Gabe Taylor went 5 for 6 for 49 yards. Really got into a rhythm with his favorite target, number 2, Gray Livingood.
And that very impressive drive, offensive drive, came after a very impressive defensive stop on fourth down after a long drive by Clearfield. We've seen a lot of ebbs and flows in this game already, Brian.
And it seems like a game that could feature limited possessions based on this opening half here so far. So when you have the ball, it is at a premium tonight. Brian Tripp, Rick Call, our entire outstanding crew. Dave Emmenheiser leading the way back in the truck. Greg Helsel, by the way, our statistician, feeding us all the great numbers here tonight. Owen Lance kicks it away down inside the 15-yard line, but a head of steam here for Cooper Broad on the return. They ask a lot of him, and he usually delivers and does here, taking it all the way out to the 42-yard line. Excellent field position for Clearfield here on their second drive.
That's an excellent kick return, Brian. Straight ahead, north-south. Put the shoulder down, pick up every yard you can.
It's a lost art these days.
It is. Too many guys get the football dancing around and carrying on. He got the football straight ahead, north-south. Love that.
That's called, I would say, watching too much Sports Center, but these days it may be watching too much Snapchat, Instagram, or TikTok.
What are those?
You've got a daughter who's got a big week ahead this week. She knows all about it.
Yeah, she sure does.
Elijah Glunt in motion, looks for a block off that left side. He'll pick up 2 or 3 here on first down, taking it out to the 45-yard line. Yeah, I want to wish your daughter Jazz good luck. She's going for her driver's permit this week.
I'm not even sure what to say.
You know what? I want to wish her dad good luck.
I'm scared.
I want to wish her dad good luck.
I'm scared. She'll do fine. I've already let her drive off the record.
You just said it on television, Rick. Nothing's off the record here. Of course, that was in your driveway. Here is Curry on the run, and Curry runs out of space as he was tracked down by Wirtz and Wagner. It goes in as a sack and a loss of 1 and a 3rd and long upcoming here for Clearfield.
Good coverage downfield, good pursuit by that linebacking core right there from Bedford.
Our live streaming tonight brought to you by UPMC, sponsor of our digital broadcast wherever you may be joining us here tonight.
Well, they were 3 of 4 on first downs on their first possession.
And not all of those were third and manageable. Some of those conversions third and long like this. But this time Curry alone in the backfield has excellent protection. Now he's flush, directs traffic, zips it over the middle. Broad made the catch, and Broad dances down to the 35-yard line.
What a play by Curry. He looked at every receiver on the field. Great play by Broad to come open. Just kind of sat down. You see him right there directing traffic. And that's a heck of a play right there by that Clearfield offense.
23 yards on a 3rd down and 9 in that first down, brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. So again, keeps the drive alive, and Clearfield on 3rd downs, that's been the story of their night offensively so far, their efficiency in those 3rd down situations. Curry again alone in the backfield, has excellent protection again. Eventually it breaks down. He's able to scramble away from Wagner. Curry back near the line of scrimmage before he is hauled out of bounds around the sideline, and a couple of bodies go down, a tangle of bodies over there on the sideline.
Well, you love his composure. I mean, always eyes downfield, directing traffic. He had a receiver come open early as there was a blown coverage in the secondary, but he was under pressure and he had to roll back to his left and he wasn't able to throw the football. He had a man wide open downfield, And I think he may have seen him, Brian, but just couldn't get to him as he was under pressure.
1 yard loss, so it will go down as the second sack of this drive for Bedford. Ethan Yoakum gets credit for it. Curry spins, comes back, and Broad picks up a yard or two and then breaks free. Cooper Broad taking it to the corner of the end zone. He is in for the touchdown. Curry back behind play was flattened. He took a hit to deliver the pass, and it results in a 36-yard touchdown. And somehow, some way, Cooper Broad picked his way through that defense as his quarterback was just punished on the backside.
Yeah, he took a major shot, and he was down for a little while. He was able to get himself back up at Broad. Just a great individual effort.
A Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee for sure right there. And the toughness from Curry. And now a pivotal point after to tie this game after a Good Feet Store touchdown. It is a low line drive kick, but it splits the uprights. And Cash Deal ties the game at 7. So each team scoring on its second possession of the game. We've got a tie game at 7 here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. WJAC TV and the Good Feet Store. I want to thank our home school Bedford for hosting tonight's game. WJAC TV and the Good Feet Store proud to support our local schools, and tonight we're donating $500 to Bedford High School for welcoming us in for this game here tonight in Claysburg. And again, I know AD Brett Smith wants to tip his cap to the folks here from Claysburg Kimmel and this great facility for hosting their home games with the renovations this year. There's a look at the Clearfield sideline, a 36-yard catch and run by Cooper Broad. I know I was trying to peek out of the corner of my eye at his quarterback, Xavier Curry, who took a shot to deliver the pass. Once he saw Broad cross the goal line, he popped to his feet. It was an excellent run, but there are so many things, dynamics happening on that 36-yard touchdown, and it's good to see Curry okay, and great to see a tied game here with over half the second quarter already expired.
This has been a heck of a football game so far. A lot of fun, very physical, Brian. Guys are taking some shots, and as you said, bouncing back up. But, man, again, we talked about Clearfield's physicality on a weekly basis and Bedford needing to match that. And so far they have.
Yeah, this has been a very evenly matched football game so far. A little confusion back there trying to pick up that football. Yoakum is thrown down at the 15-yard line. The official from the near side of the field spots him out at the 17 with forward progress. And Bedford will have a long way to go on this drive after they're coming off a 10-play, 71-yard touchdown drive themselves. This looks like two teams that each had double-digit wins last year and won a district championship and made their way to the PIAA quarterfinals in their classifications, as opposed to a couple of teams that are 0-1. That poses two questions to me. Number one, how good are these two? And then also, how good are Bellwood Antis and Bishop McCourt to knock them off in the first week?
Scary to think about the way these two teams are executing tonight.
Taylor taking a shot downfield for Living Good. They were in a rhythm on that last possession. He just overshot his intended target with Blunt and Broad flanking him on each side in coverage.
When that ball came out of his hands, I wasn't sure who it was actually intended for. He had two receivers in the area.
A lot of trust in the speed of that sophomore, Gray Livingood, who had 6 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown last year as a freshman. A lot of freshmen and sophomores on that Bedford Bison's side this year.
Yeah, they have some very good talent at the skill positions, no doubt about that.
Looks like each coaching staff did a deep dive after week one, and both teams are finding their identity offensively and defensively here in this game. Use the legs of Gabe Taylor. He is strung out, bottled up, nowhere to go on this play. Cash Deal makes the tackle right near the line of scrimmage. And that identity for Bedford in the last few years at least has been either Mercury or Quincy Swaim, and we're starting to use Taylor in a variety of ways here in this ball game as he finds his legs in his arm.
Well, Brian, you talked about the youth on this Bedford team. Their junior high program hasn't lost a game in 2 years, and they've lost one game in 3 years. So their feeder system does a real nice job of getting these guys prepared.
That's why it was a system shock last week, right, to lose that opener to Bishop McCourt 39-7. And here Taylor taking a shot for Living Good down the sideline, and it is broken up. And guess who's back there in coverage? Colton Ryan, stride for stride with Living Good on a well-delivered football.
Yeah, it was. He dropped it in the bucket. Only the great coverage right there of Colton Ryan, who we see step up, make a lot of tackles right there, showing off the speed. Here's another look at it.
That's a linebacker going on the wheel route down the sideline against the slot guy.
And staying right with him, stride for stride.
Ryan actually had the best opportunity at that football, in Clearfield after a long touchdown drive of its own forces a 3-and-out, and will get excellent field position here as it is handled by Cash Deal, who jets to the 46-yard line. And brought down by Gabe Taylor, who can do it all. But excellent field position for Clearfield here inside Bedford territory. And remember, Clearfield gets the ball to start the second half. Still a little early here, perhaps, to talk about doubling it up, but with 4:18 to go here in the second quarter, Clearfield an opportunity to open up some separation. Coming up at halftime, Wendy's salutes local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. That is coming up at halftime tonight. And that is coming up in just a little bit here as Clearfield takes over. 7-7 ball game. 4:18 left here in the second quarter. Ryan in motion, and he will prove to be a lead blocker. No, fooled me. Curry had a wide open Cooper Broad. Fooled that defense too, but overshot him as Broad went up the ladder and couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, that play looked doomed right from the start, Brian. It just looked a little, something was out of sync there from the Clearfield standpoint.
A lot of moving directions, different parts going in different directions on that first down play. But if that pass is on target and Broad has a chance to turn upfield, no one's catching the speedy senior, who Miles Carrageen said, and we saw it on that last possession, is the fastest player on this Clearfield team. This quarterback, Xavier Curry, can run quite a bit too as he scoots to the sideline, and it appears, yes, he does have enough for a Ziegler Chevrolet first down with a 10.5-yard pickup.
Curry, the former wide receiver, switched over to quarterback, still learning the position, still working on his mechanics, Miles Carrageen said.
Looks pretty good here tonight.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
Got a nice block by one of his receivers, Elijah Glunt, number 2, who's relaying the play into his offense here. And Clearfield, some late substitutions, but plenty of time on the play clock.
Clearfield with first down and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
First and 10 from the 34. Back to Colton Ryan. Ryan pinballs off of one, and like a bowling ball, he rolls forward for 2 or 3 more after that. That is a strong kid. He picks up 7. And let's take a look now at the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. I'm sure those folks shopping at Crawford Gift Shop are hoping fans are cheering like that for the new quarterback of the black and gold this year. I thought I might elicit a reaction there from,
No, you did.
from Rick Hall.
See, Micah Parsons got traded today. As an Eagles fan, you have to be happy about that. One of your rivals giving up one of their best players.
Well, it makes one of the other teams in the NFC a whole lot better.
It sure does.
Parsons, of course, former Penn State Nittany Lion,
Yep.
which Lions open up their season tomorrow at 3:30 at home against Nevada. and our 6 Sports team and WJC TV. Of all sorts of coverage from that one. There's a 3rd and 1 upcoming here. Curry gives it to Ryan, and Ryan had the first down before he's even contacted. Great push by that left side of the Bedford offensive, or beg your pardon, the Clearfield offensive line. Matt Peace, Flood on that left side, paving the way for Ryan. It's first down, brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. Coming up, make sure to keep watching for the UPMC halftime report. We'll look at the highlights from around the country, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Honorees and the USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. Clearfield back inside the red zone here. Under 2.5 minutes to play. Curry on the fake, delivers into traffic, and it is intercepted by Bedford. And that Bedford defense comes up with another big play. Andrew Evans hauls it in, and Bedford stands tall in the red zone.
Well, their defense has come up with a couple big stops here tonight. 15-play drive to start it for Clearfield. They were able to get off the field on a 4th down. Bedford was, and right here's the interception. Curry under pressure, throws it out there, and a great job by that Bedford defense again.
Rick, you could tell that first read wasn't there for Curry, and then he panicked and put the ball in harm's way.
Yeah, he did. That's one I'm sure he's saying he wishes he had back. No doubt about that.
Guy who's made a lot of plays here. It's really been an excellent football game so far for each of these teams, and it is Bedford with Andrew Evans after the interception, and he goes barreling into the secondary and picks up 12 yards. And another first down, brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
Now, we talked about the good blocking up front by the Clearfield offensive line. Right there, Bedford cleared a nice hole there for Evans to get through, and when he gets through that hole and gets into that second level, he's able to pick up some additional yardage after contact.
All 3 timeouts for Kevin Steele, the 16th year head coach, still in his back pocket to work with here as well. There's us, Brian Tripp, Rick Call. Great to be with you. And juggled and incomplete. Jamie Ringler came free. Had a second opportunity to pull it back in, but could not make the juggling catch.
I was just going to say that, Brian. If not for the hit by the defender, he might have been able to pull that back in.
And if I'm not mistaken, that defender was our guy again. He's all over the field, Colton Ryan. 2nd and 10. Taylor looking for a block. Does get a little forward push. He'd pick up 4. Decision here, does Kevin Steele or Miles Carrageen consider taking a timeout? Neither will, with about 90 seconds to play in the half.
Bedford now with 3rd down and 6.
This is a big play for Bedford. Don't want to give Clearfield the ball back, and that ball in harm's way, in and out of the hands of Livingood, who was covered tightly by Ryan, and Taylor gets away with one there going to the sideline.
Yeah, that was a kind of a dangerous throw. You're putting it out there and just kind of floating it out there into no man's land. And they're lucky they're able to punt the football away right now.
With Clearfield getting the football to start the second half, a good punt could mean that the Bison just sit on it here to end this opening half, but it's a high snap over the head of Yoakum. Yoakum tracks it down, gets it away, and somehow salvaged the play. And then you could see Carrageen saying, don't catch it, but it is Colton Ryan coming up and catching the football and taking it across midfield with under a minute to play here in the half. And now Clearfield, that saves valuable time and field position. They have something brewing with a couple of timeouts left and 57 seconds left in the half.
We've seen a lot of different things in this football game here tonight. Second straight possession for Clearfield to begin in plus territory.
Let's take a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. There we are. Brian Tripp, Rick Call up here, and we promise Bud's drive of the quarter is coming up. And here is a couple of great plays. That rhythm that Taylor and Livingood were in, that resulted in the first Bedford score. And you see Livingood making some plays there. It's been that passing attack for Bedford that helped their offense get into rhythm. As we come back to live action, and Xavier Curry picking up 8 off the left side for Clearfield on the first play. Carrageen doesn't use a timeout. 35 seconds left here. And Curry back to pass. Curry under pressure. He does not feel the pressure, and Wagner throws him down for the sack. Third sack of the game for Bedford, and now a timeout taken by Clearfield. And you know what? That was Seth Ford, number 62, not 52. Clay Wagner with the sack. So let me correct myself there. But third sack of the game for Bedford, and it's a 7-7 score with 27 seconds left here in the second quarter, and Clearfield uses its second timeout. Our man Rick Hall is going to head down to the sidelines and get set to talk with one of the coaches here, going off into the locker room. A 3rd and 9 upcoming here for Clearfield with 27 seconds left. 7-7 ball game. Both of our scores coming here in the second quarter. Gorgeous night here in Claysburg. And we'll see how aggressive Miles Carrageen wants to be in this situation here. Gives us a moment during this timeout to do a quick injury report. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers. And on the injury report tonight, Johnny Ingraham out for Bedford. Starting guard, starting defensive tackle up front. And tough to be without one of your starters on the line when you're looking for physicality. So far they've acquitted themselves well, Bedford, but Johnny Ingraham, a scheduled starter, out tonight. Teddy Rose getting some more snaps in his absence. That's tonight's injury report. Brought to you by Berger and Green. Kevin Steele and Bedford trying to stave off Clearfield here late in this second quarter and keep this thing tied going into the locker room at half. Xavier Curry, after the sack by Seth Ford, facing a 3rd and 9 where they've been so good today. They're setting up the screen for Broad, and Broad's got blockers. A flag flies, and this is going to come back for an ineligible man downfield. Those blockers on the tunnel screen over the middle for the wide receiver were 5 to 8 yards downfield. Usually the officials will give you a yard or two of leeway, but this should be an easy call for Ray Klinger, who's been relatively quiet tonight. That's always good to see in week number 2. And again, this is going against Clearfield.
Scrimmage. Here we go. We're going to go.
Picked up the flag. They said the ball was caught. We just heard from Ray here. They said the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage, so they pick up the flag. So it is a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. And with the clock starting to run again at the snap of the ball, Clearfield has one timeout left. Both sidelines, both teams, and the officials hoping to straighten this out. 14 seconds left in the opening half. Can Clearfield get points here and break the tie going into the locker room? Curry pivots, comes back. This was the play that resulted in the touchdown. Curry stays on his feet this time. Broad does not as he nears the 30-yard line. Cleaned up by Wagner. And Clearfield will take its final timeout with the ball officially spotted at the 32 in a 7-7 game with 7 seconds left here in the opening half. So probably time for just one more play. Yardage, though, a 7-yard pickup. It may give Curry the opportunity to heave it into the end zone. Terrific football game. Clearfield trying to dial up one more big play here in the second quarter. Meanwhile, that Bedford defense had a turnover down in this neighborhood last time that Clearfield was marching the football. Already had a big 4th down stop as well in the opening half. And Bedford has made some big plays defensively. Every time it looks like the Bisons have been on their heels tonight, they've stepped up and make the big play. Don't forget our UPMC halftime report coming up. Rick's going to talk with one of the coaches going off. We'll get a coach coming back as well. You're on this gorgeous week number 2 of high school football. Let's see what Carrageen and company come up with. With 7 seconds left, it is a 3rd down and 4, but that probably will render itself irrelevant here. And Clearfield with no timeouts remaining. In all likelihood, needing to get into the end zone on this play. And Curry has 5 wide receivers in the game. Ryan is in the slot to his left. Broad lined up all the way on the outside to his left, along with Glunt. Curry buying some time. Wagner delivers some pressure as he heaves it downfield, and it is intercepted at the goal line by Bedford. And that's how the first half will end. Gray Livingood goes up and pulls down the Hail Mary heave. And means we're tied at 7 after 24 minutes of play here in week number 2. We've got a dandy here tonight between Clearfield and Bedford. A couple of 0-1 teams looking for their first victory of the year, and both of these teams look anything but winless here after a really, really encouraging opening half. And Rick is getting set down there on the sideline here in a 7-7 ball game. I think he's going to go and grab Miles Carrageen from Clearfield as the Bison make the long trek off. And yeah, Rick's going to get set with Miles Carrageen as his team was denied at the goal line again there late in that opening half. Okay, Rick.
Get stalled out, we have to finish. I mean, the key thing is we're going to go in there and just keep worrying about executing our job and finishing those drives.
Last week we talked to Kevin Steele from Bedford. He said they got dominated at the line of scrimmage. It seems like the line of scrimmage is kind of a close battle tonight. What do you think about that?
It's definitely the kids are battling back and forth. I know we got to go in there and make some corrections and read our keys and do our jobs.
Coach, we appreciate the time.
Yep.
Good luck in the second half. Thank you. Brian, back upstairs.
All right, appreciate it as always, Rick. Miles Carrageen in his third year replacing longtime head coach Tim Janocko has done a great job with the Clearfield program. 7-7 our score on this gorgeous Friday night for high school football. Don't forget the UPMC halftime report is coming up. 7-7 here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
This is the UPMC Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report. Now, here's our Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Teacher, Wendy's is celebrating the hard work and dedication of Mr. Tim Callie from Clearfield Area High School. Mr. Callie is an exceptional math teacher who creates spaces for his students to feel valued and respected. He goes beyond the classroom to participate in student-teacher events, organize field trips, and run incentive programs. Thank you, Mr. Callie, for all that you do. Supporting and educating young minds is key to future success, and we're glad to have them on the team. Wendy's thanks all teachers for their hard work and dedication to their students. Here's a look at what's coming up on WJAC TV.
Let the show begin here.
One play at a time. Just embrace the moment, man. Here we come to dominate. Don't stop now. It don't get no better than this. Let's go. As good as it gets. The whole world wants
it. Coming up, our first USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar of the Year nominee. This is the UPMC Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report. And now, here's our first USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year nominee.
I'm Greg Sasitke from USCO Federal Credit Union with tonight's first nominee for this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest.
Congratulations to Andrew Evans of Bedford High School. Andrew is a multi-sport athlete, lettering in football, basketball, and track. He made first team All-County in football and was named the winner of the Effort and Unsung Hero Award. Andrew works hard at school as a member of the National Honor Society, Students Against Drunk Driving, and Latin clubs. In his community, Andrew shares his talents by coaching youth football and basketball. For more information and complete contest rules, go to WJACTV.com. Here's a look at what's coming up on WJAC TV.
I gotta say, sparring with the doctor's a first for me. Have you ever been in a fight?
I consider myself a pacifist. I treat people, not symptoms.
Dr. Wolf's been fired from every hospital in the tri-state area.
Everyone just writes him off.
We're gonna help you. Fight or flight is our response to stress. And no matter the case,
get off of me!
Did you hear her?
I will never give up on my patients.
Brilliant Minds, September 22nd on NBC and Peacock.
Up next, Friday Night Rivals highlights from around the country. Plus, our final USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Good luck to both teams in tonight's Friday Night Rivals game from Ziegler Chevrolet.
This is the UPMC Friday Night Rivals Halftime Report.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Sweet wine pump fakes, goes end zone wide open, and one-handed catch. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'll tell you that you're going to watch the defender falls down, and Sheffield still has to make a spectacular grab.
Allen rolling, has time if he wants to run. Rolling has a guy over the middle. It's intercepted right into the hands of Logan Steele, and he's gone. No one will catch the long jump gold medalist and the second in the 100, Logan Steele.
Oh, new running back in the ball game, and he got tattooed and suplex. Speaking of wrestling, that was bad enough right there. And then, bam.
Big number 90, Maurice Horry right there. He got his money.
Wolf fires downfield. He has a man, but lobs it up. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's picked off by Manheim Township. Coming up and making the interception is Dixon. It was a 50-50 ball, and Dixon comes up and has the INT. Dixon, the 5.
Does he get off? Ready, go. Off the line of scrimmage. Look at the speed, the quickness. Good recovery there. Gets it back over to the sideline. Excellent execution for Champ.
And now, our second USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year nominee.
I'm Greg Stasicki from USCO Federal Credit Union with tonight's second nominee for this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest.
Congratulations, Colton Ryan of Clearfield Area High School. Colton is an accomplished multi-sport athlete. He's a state-ranked wrestler and the captain of the football team, where he also leads in tackles. He's a 3-time District 9 medalist, a 2-time regional qualifier, and a state qualifier in wrestling. At school, Colton serves his community through the Helping Hands Club. He's volunteered with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and is a member of the National Honor Society. For more information and complete contest rules, go to WJACTV.com.
We have graphic stats, highlights, but
penalty that was against Clearfield. No, they took that back anyway. There were no penalties, or were there? Was there one?
they took it off. There's none.
Okay, that was the only one. 2 turnovers, no picks. Okay.
Welcome back here to Claysburg-Kimmel High School, hosting Bedford and Clearfield tonight. Great game after one half, 7-7 ball game. Scoreless, each team just had one possession in that opening quarter. Then in the second quarter, the offense has started to find some rhythm, some great defense as well. And Rick, a pair of teams coming off district championships, great runs in the postseason last year in the PIAA playoffs. You wouldn't know that they both are coming off tough losses in week number 1. This has been an excellent football game.
Yeah, I was talking to Ray Klinger, the referee, as we were coming off the field at halftime, and he said, wow, this has been a heck of a football game. He talked about the execution of both teams. He talked about the fundamentals of both teams, and he said, I've seen a lot of football. He said, this has been a really good one, and I have to agree with him.
Yeah, we talked about physicality, fundamentals, no penalties in that opening half, right? The one flag was picked up. You saw great offensive plays, great defensive plays, and just really a terrific football game from both these teams. And I think when you talk about improvement from week 1 to 2, like we talked about right off the top tonight, both these coaches, Miles Carrageen from Clearfield and Kevin Steele from Bedford, probably pretty pleased with where they're at.
I would think they have to be. And you mentioned it earlier. You make your biggest improvements between week 1 and 2 because you have a game under your belt. You get to go back and look at the film and see what happened. I think the adjustments and the coaching this past week for both these teams has been really good because we have seen some really good stuff from both these clubs, Brian.
All right, let's take a look at some of those first half highlights, some of the plays that we were just talking about right there. And Bedford, of course, Military Appreciation Night, and playing here in Claysburg with their field under construction this year. In fact, their entire high school, I think everywhere but Principal Kevin Steele's office. Andrew Evans with the first score of the game in the second quarter, takes it in from 1 yard out. That was after a couple of terrific passes from Gabe Taylor, the quarterback, to the sophomore slot receiver, Gray Livenwood. But then Cooper Broad and Xavier Curry started to take over for Clearfield, drove the ball deep a couple of times, cashed in on one drive, a couple of costly turnovers and a defensive stand. But Curry and Livengood celebrating, and rightfully so, in that opening half, and Curry and Broad for Clearfield, the ones celebrating. So all in all, a terrific opening half of action. There's the sack from Seth Ford, one of 3 sacks for Bedford in that opening half. Look at our stats here at halftime, 7-7. Numbers somewhat even in this football game. Clearfield, because they drove the ball, slight edge, but he looked first downs. Clearfield 86 rushing yards, Bedford 52, 81 passing yards, Bedford 49 167 yards for Clearfield, 101 for Bedford. And Clearfield just the slight edge on first downs. And they were excellent on third downs in that opening half. Conversion after conversion to extend those drives. 7-7 our score. Second half action coming your way in just a moment. 7-7. We'll be back after this on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Bedford gets ready to go here for the second half. They'll kick it away to Clearfield. But before this half begins, Rick calls down on the sideline with Kevin Steele, the head coach of the Bisons.
You talked when we talked to you earlier in the week. You said about your team not playing well, kind of getting dominated at the line of scrimmage last week. I think you have to be more pleased with what you've seen out of your interior linemen so far.
Sure, both teams have made some big plays, but I think we've neutralized the line of scrimmage right now. We've made some plays, they made some plays. It's a good solid half of football. We're hoping our kids can put two more good quarters together.
Defensively, you gave up some yardage, but your defense was able to make some stops. How do you get your defense off the field quicker in the second half?
Well, we gave up a couple of big plays. Those big plays really hurt us, so eliminate the big plays and just make sure we play good assignment football and tackle well. We missed some tackles in the first half, too.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thank you. Good luck to you in the second half. Brian, backups.
All right, thanks to Rick and thanks to Coach Steele as well, who's done a great job with this Bisons program. Second half coming your way, 7-7 here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Welcome back here to Claysburg. There is the Bison of Clearfield getting stretched out for our second half 7-7 ball game between Bedford and Clearfield here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Week number 2 of our high school football slate. Next week we'll have Harrisburg visiting State College. We'll be up at Memorial Field for that one. First things first, we need to settle the action here. But there you see next week's action, Harrisburg and State College. That should be a monster matchup. You can watch it on the Allegheny CW6 as we look at our matchup next week, brought to you by Thomas Mills. Previewing next week's action at 7 o'clock kickoff. Rick and I will be up there in State College. Harrisburg has some exceptional players. Same can be said for Matt Lintell's group every single season. A lot of speed on the field for Clearfield right there. They get ready to go for the second half. 7-7 score. Andrew Evans had the 1-yard second quarter touchdown run for Bedford. And then that was answered right on the next possession by Clearfield. as Xavier Curry found Cooper Broad for a 36-yard touchdown. Before this half begins, fans, we remind you to stay tuned later in tonight's game. We'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. Quite a few to choose from there in that opening half as well. And fans, also this injury report brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers. The injury tonight that we found out just before kickoff, Johnny Ingraham, starting guard and starting defensive tackle for Bedford, out of tonight's lineup. And Rick was just talking about with the Bedford head coach Kevin Steele about their physicality and what they've done at the line of scrimmage. So far, so good. Even without the big guy, they're hoping to get him back next week. That is our injury report brought to you by Berger and Green. You didn't take your jacket down with you. Welcome back. You made the run back up here.
I'm sweating now.
There is a chill in the air, though. Temperatures dipping down into the 50s here in Claysburg. Great location, great site, great weather for this matchup. It does feel a little bit like high school football, and I'm sure you can feel some intensity down there on the sidelines with both teams getting ready to go in a tie game.
Absolutely. And another thing I felt, just talking to both coaches, they both seemed happy with their club's execution in that first half of football. And there's a lot to be happy about with both guys on both sides of the football. They both came up with some big plays, both teams did on each side. And I think this game may come down just to one play at some point, Brian. You never know.
Bedford struck first, but then Clearfield for much of that second quarter dominated offensively, just never could get all the way through and into the end zone a second time to tack another score on. A couple of interceptions from Evans and Livengood for Bedford. And he had a fourth down stop back in the first quarter for Bedford as well. Owen Lance, the kicker, set to boot it away. Now Lance has it teed up. And here we go, 7-7 ball game, second half underway, and Cooper Broad, always dangerous with some speed. Colton Ryan throws one block, bouncing off some of his own players, then walks the tightrope down the near sideline, and that gets him 5 or 6 extra yards back out to the 42 again. It's been a familiar starting spot for Clearfield here in the football game. Excellent field position to start this first possession of the second half.
Yeah, and he did walk the tightrope, and I'll give the official a lot of credit. He was right there on the play, Brian, watching and keeping his eye on the feet.
Ben Chimenti, the senior center up front, along with Nick Flood and Austin Fenton flanking him. You have 3 seniors in the middle of that offensive line. Let's see if they lean on them. Instead, they're going to come out and throw the football. Great adjustment and catch by Elijah Glunt, who is brought down right near the line to gain. Gabe Taylor made the tackle, but it looks like he has enough. Yes, he does have enough for a first down. It's brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com.
Great block on the outside there by Cash Steele.
You love seeing the wide receivers giving it all, even when they're not being thrown the rock.
Yeah, you can't take any plays off. You just can't.
First and 10 across midfield. Xavier Curry made the right read and made a couple of great moves. Look at Curry. A pirouette and another first down for Clearfield, brought to you by UMH Properties. What an outstanding 11-yard run by Curry. Back-to-back first downs to start the second half for Clearfield.
That's just all athleticism right there by Curry. All athleticism.
Couldn't ask for 2 better plays to start this second half for Clearfield. They have been down here time and time again. But this time, can they finally solve this Bedford defense? Here is Elijah Glunt to the outside, nowhere to go, as he's brought down by Kozelik, the safety, coming up and playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. They'll actually mark it right at the original line of scrimmage, and 2nd and 10 coming up.
Great job by the Bedford defense. Great speed. Nice job to string that one out and not allow him to have any room to turn upfield, Brian.
Curry tries to get that Bedford defense to jump. Clearfield offense that had just 49 passing yards last week, 166 yards on the ground, but that passing game looks pretty good right now with Elijah Glunt making his second catch of this drive. And he picks up 8. He'll set up 3rd and short.
Well, the defense is kind of sitting back, allowing the catch, coming up and making the tackle. They keep hitting that play. They may have to come up a little bit closer and play a little tighter coverage at the line of scrimmage, Brian. You agree with that?
Absolutely. And right now, that might be one of those adjustments Miles Carrageen talked about with you before going into the locker room at halftime. Curry again changing the play at the line here after getting that look from the defense on a 3rd and 3, a 3rd down situation. They were so good on 3rd downs in the opening half, and that continues here in half number 2 with Colton Ryan gaining 5 and another UMH Properties first down.
It was going to be close. I wasn't sure if he was going to have it right away, but the leg drive, the extra push at the end, and he was able to convert it.
Ryan now 11 carries for north of 50 yards, 52 yards in the football game. His quarterback, Xavier Curry, with a couple of good throws on this drive. Up to the century mark, over 100 yards passing in the game with 1 touchdown and a couple of interceptions. They have been here before, but this time they need to punch it in, and it's on the ground again. Ryan fumbles the football. Bedford believes it has its 3rd turnover of the game defensively. And again, right down here near the red zone, and Bedford celebrates. They do recover the fumble, and it is Andrew Evans at the bottom of the pile with the pigskin, and those woes down deep inside Bedford territory continue for Clearfield to start the second half.
Yeah, that hurts. This was a good drive to start. Started at their own 42. They were moving the ball systematically again, and here's a look at it right there. Who was that got the hand in? That was Teddy Rose who got the hand in.
And Rose, one of those starting defensive tackles, punched it out. Colton Ryan put it on the turf, and Bedford's defense again bends but does not break. And here is Andrew Evans, who is stood up right at the line of scrimmage. He had the touchdown run to start the scoring tonight, but has been relatively quiet since on the offensive side.
71 of their 101 yards in that first half for Bedford came on that one drive.
Evans 6 carries for 29 yards tonight.
1 yard gain, 2nd down and 9.
They do give him 1 yard on this play. That was a bit of a frustrated clap there from Taylor as they broke the huddle. It's an offense that had to punt on 3 of its 4 possessions in that opening half, as you see the stats flash in at the bottom of your screen. Time, but this is well diagnosed by Broad. Bennett Steele is bottled up for a 2-yard loss. That was a slow developing play for Bedford.
It was very slow, and Cooper Broad, as you said, diagnosed it right away, and he was a stride or 2 from jumping that route.
And now Bedford, immediately after coming up with another turnover, faces a 3rd and long here on their first drive of the 3rd quarter. Taylor, time, good pocket, heaves it deep. It's a 50-50 ball that is intercepted by Colton Ryan. Colton Ryan takes it back for a touchdown. What a night for Colton Ryan, and after coughing the football up on the offensive side, he gets it back and runs it back for a pick 6, and Clearfield takes the lead.
That is total redemption right there for Colton Ryan. Unbelievable. That was a good battle. He was battling the receiver hard, a little hand fighting, some contact there, and Ryan was able to win that battle, as he does so often, win the physical battle and win the football.
A Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee, the pick 6 for Colton Ryan, first turnover of the game from Bedford, and Clearfield has a 13-7 lead with 7:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. Another low point after kick by Cash Deal, but his kick is good, and Clearfield takes a 14-7 lead. And that is the defense picking up the offense for Clearfield. Tonight's live streaming is presented by UPMC. For our audience joining us wherever you are, our digital sponsor for tonight's game is UPMC. Also, let's check out the American Legion County Fair Fan Cam. And remember to enjoy the American Legion County Fair in Evansburg coming up August 31st through September 6th. And there is a look at that Hardy group from Bedford, their student section, which has made some noise here on this Military Appreciation Night. And right now they see their Bisons fall behind for the first time after the pick six from Colton Ryan. And let's take another look at that pick six by Ryan. Dropping back, takes the 50-50 ball away, and then had tons of room to take it back down the sideline for 40 yards.
And you saw the battle right there, and those two were going at it pretty hard, and the officials letting them play, and Ryan able to, as I said earlier, win that physical battle, as he does so often.
Deal will pick it off for the Bison.
And now Cash Deal set to kick it away, and Gray Livingood, number 2, one of the players deep, hoping to get his hands on the football. Never know when that next big play is going to come here tonight. The pendulum has been swinging back and forth. It is Livingood, and maybe that big play comes on special teams. He's bottled up after a 16-yard return out at the 33-yard line, and now it's time to bounce back for Gabe Taylor. And he put himself in a tough spot. The offense, it wasn't Taylor, but the offense put itself in a tough spot on that last drive with a couple of negative plays to start the drive, and ended up in a 3rd and long, just trying to make a play.
Yeah, they've moved the football. That one drive, they moved the football for the touchdown. They stayed ahead of the sticks, as you said, Brian, and they were successful on 1st down and set up some 2nd downs where they could really dive into that playbook. When they find themselves in 2nd and long and 3rd and long, that's when they've had all their difficulties.
Start with Kozelic on the ground, and nothing there again. And maybe that Clearfield defensive line led by Braden Wills and Matt Peace starting to take things over here. That physicality.
Yeah, they seem to be inserting themselves in this football game for sure. And Bedford's going to have to find a way to counteract that. And that, Clearfield, I was talking to their radio announcers. They said Clearfield's a team that generally just gets stronger as the game goes on. We might see the start of that here.
Yeah, the case last week, Miles Carrageen told us that. Felt like he had a group that's really coachable. They're learning what they have. And the same's been said for Taylor. Plenty of time here. Goes deep for Livingood. Ryan's there again and through his hands again. Frustrated, you can see, punching the turf, that he wasn't able to make a spectacular leaping catch for another interception. Taylor's had time, but right now just trusting Livingood to go and make a play. But every time he does, Colton Ryan's right there shadowing number 2.
Yeah, I think that was Livingood who turned into the defender on that play. Ryan would have had his 2nd pick.
Kevin Steele told us that Livingood will draw a ton of attention this year. He's the top of most teams' scouting report, and you can see why. And appears to be at the top of the Clearfield scouting report for tonight's game. See if they go his way here on another 3rd and long. Taylor buys some time, throws into coverage again, looking for Evans, incomplete. He was blanketed by Cash Deal. And another 3 and out.
He was blanketed for sure. You heard a little groan from the Bedford faithful right in front of us. I think they might have wanted a flag on that, but pretty good defensive play.
And when you have 2 physical teams like this, you want to let them play. This will be the 4th Bedford punt tonight. As you said, pretty much all their yards coming on that 1 touchdown drive, and that is when Taylor really got in a rhythm. Good punt by Ethan Yoakum. Fair catch called for by Ryan. At the 28-yard line, that's where Clearfield will take over, leading 14-7 with 6:18 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Brian, Bedford's last 4 possessions, 3 3-and-outs, and an interception return for a touchdown.
It is tough sledding for that Bedford offense, but their defense has been able to make enough plays. The go-ahead score for Clearfield came on the defensive side on the 40-yard pick six by Colton Ryan, the only score of this 2nd half. Bedford's gotten themselves into some 3rd and longs. They're just 2 for 8 on 3rd downs tonight. And we have a timeout on the field here. Kevin Steele's bringing his team over. And now Ray Klinger, the referee, is going to call Bedford back out. Steele thought timeout was called, or perhaps that we went into a media timeout. As again, you see some of the stats popping up there, bottom of your screen. Alicia Emmenheiser, Greg Helsel, doing a great job sharing those with our audience tonight. 1st and 10 for Clearfield, Xavier Curry, and there's that Bedford defense, which seems to have risen to the occasion every single time they need to stop Wagner and 4. Tag up for the tackle. It's a 2-yard pickup for Curry out to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, defensively, they've only given up 1 touchdown. Of course, the other Clearfield touchdown was the interception return on their defensive side. So the Bedford defense, as you said, Brian, they've really done a nice job here tonight against a talented Clearfield club.
The bright lights and being on TV and everything the moment does not seem too big for this young Bedford team tonight. But they find themselves playing from behind for the first time. Curry is flushed in all sorts of trouble, and he is thrown down from behind by Yoakum. Does pick up 2 with his speed, but he was under duress immediately from number 12 on the play.
Yeah, great pressure came right at him, and he did a great job just to extend the play as long as he did.
Yoakum, who gets that start tonight with Johnny Ingraham out, making the most of his opportunity. He's been in the backfield a few times for Bedford.
And Bedford trying to strip that football away right there. You saw it.
Here's a big 3rd down. Clearfield 7 for 8 on 3rd downs tonight. In a game of momentum swings and big plays, who's going to make the next one? Fake to Ryan. Curry buys some time. He is being spied on the outside, and he's going to be a yard shy of the 1st down. Kyler Hale was watching him. Curry does take the ball out to the 37, but he's a yard shy, and now a decision for Miles Carrageen in his offense. I know they're in their own territory, but they have been in rhythm, and right now it looks like he's just going to keep that offense right out there on the field and try to pick up a 4th and 1 from their own 37-yard line.
I'd be surprised if it's not a quarterback keeper right up the gut.
Or how about Colton Ryan? And he did not get there. They tried to go right up the gut, but it was snuffed out by the Bedford defense, and that is the next big play in the game.
Like Bryce Wirtz was the man who made the play.
Bryce Wirtz and set 4 combined to make the tackle. Stop him right at the line of scrimmage, and even Ryan with his strength unable to bounce off that tackle and pick up the yard. And Bedford has excellent field position after the aggressive decision by the Clearfield Bison head coach.
First time tonight, Bedford will begin a possession in plus territory. 2nd turnover on downs of the night for Clearfield.
That was a big one for Bedford. And again, that flips the momentum right back to the other side. What are your thoughts on the decision by Miles Carrageen?
Well, the way my defense is going, I'm more conservative. I would have punted the football away, but
that defense all over Andrew Evans, who breaks the tackle, and then he barrels forward, and he turns what would have been no gain into 6 yards.
Felt a little momentum swing there, Brian.
It's been the case all night long. It's not just that autumn air that's filtered down here into the valley tonight. Under 4 minutes to play here, 3rd quarter. Great game. Bedford now looks to tie it back up. Bedford took the 7-0 lead early in the 2nd quarter. Clearfield tied it, and then you had the pick 6 from Colton Ryan for Clearfield, the only score here in this 3rd quarter so far. Kozelik tries to line up as the lead blocker, and Evans uses his left hand to maintain his balance, and after contact in the backfield, he stumbles forward for a pair of yards. It'll be 3rd and short.
Obviously 4-down territory here if you're Bedford. As they're looking to the sideline to see the play called in here.
I was impressed by Evans' balance right there. I thought he was going to be dropped for a loss.
That was good stuff.
Kozelik and Evans in the backfield, and it's a direct snap to Gray Livingood. Oh, hello! Cash Steele drops Livingood for a loss, and now that will make the decision harder here for Kevin Steele.
Well, Cash was on the money on that one. Holy mackerel, he laid the lumber.
4th and 4. Tried to sneak Livingood, the speedster, in the backfield, but Cash Steele, as you said, had other plans. He's having an excellent game tonight.
Yeah, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon there.
No hesitancy here for Kevin Steele and Bedford. trying to take advantage of this excellent field position after their defense came up with a stop. Taylor throws, Living Good made the catch over the middle. First down, Bedford, brought to you by UMH Properties. Big fourth down conversion, pickup of 8. There is no question who his go-to guy is in the passing game.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that was a very composed play right there by Taylor, just to hold on to that football till Living Good came open, put it right in the numbers.
He's had plenty of time to throw tonight, and that time a comfortable pocket to deliver right on the number. And it's a big first down for Bedford to extend this drive. Under 2 minutes to play in this third quarter, trailing by 7. Kozelic and nowhere to go. Brought down by O'Brien Owens, the senior linebacker, had 9 tackles in week 1, and he's starting to rack them up here in week number 2.
Yeah, you've called his name a good bit tonight. That linebacking core for Clearfield, they are fast and they are mobile.
You can tell we're starting to get later into the football game now. Players starting to put their hands on their hips occasionally, even on a cooler night than we had in week number 1. We talked about it. These two schools, seemingly everyone out there for every snap among the starting 11. Taylor, time, catch, Evans, another physical hit, bounces off the initial contact from Broad, leans forward. It's just a short pickup of 3, and a 3rd and 8 upcoming for Bedford. Rick, it is every single hit tonight. That is just a punishing blow delivered by Clearfield.
Well, we talked about their physicality. They are always a physical football team. Miles Carrageen would have it no other way. He was a physical player back in his day.
He was an outstanding player at Keystone Oaks and then attended Pitt. He was an outstanding wrestler as well. Try to catch the defense off balance, running the football here. It's going to take a 3rd and long and turn it into about a 4th and 4. You can hear some groans again from the Bedford faithful. They're never afraid to voice their displeasure. At times, it's a passionate football community. You love that. And again, I think Kevin Steele's there just trying to make it manageable going into the fourth quarter. They'll have a big 4th and 4. Their second 4th down here on this drive, and I can assure you he's going for it when we come back with the ball in the red zone. Clearfield 14, Bedford 7, one-score game going into the final quarter here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. And now look at the Bud's Auto Sales Drive of the Quarter. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. It comes from the defensive side. Not a whole lot of offense, so we have to pick defense for the drive of the quarter. They only scored to break a 7-7 tie. Colton Ryan taking it back, pick six of 40 yards. As you can see him step in front of the pass, and the only score of the game in the second half. And that's why it's 14-7 Clearfield in front to start this fourth quarter, and a 4th and 4, the play of the game so far coming up here for Bedford. Their defense has been so stout down in and around the red zone, and now it's up to their offense to convert a 4th down and keep what could be a potential game-tying drive alive. Gabe Taylor already has converted a few big 4th downs under pressure. Throw is intercepted by Xavier Curry. Curry for Clearfield back the other way. He had no time to throw, and Curry jumped the route, and he takes it back to the 32-yard line. And another big INT for Clearfield.
Yeah, they talked about he was under pressure a lot last week. He was under pressure immediately there. 4th down. You got to admire his effort there just to get rid of that football, almost like a jump throw. Watch this. And he saw his receiver, but Curry right there in the right spot.
At Braden Wills bearing down on the quarterback. I agree, Rick. Excellent effort from Taylor to get it away, knowing that it's 4th down, trying to make a play. And it results in his second interception of the ball game. Now Clearfield back to work, and back to work against what has been a stingy Bedford defense. Kyler Hale makes the tackle on Colton Ryan after a pair of yards.
Pickup, 2nd and 7, Bison.
Just wonder how long this will go, Rick, with Colton Ryan wearing down that defense until he or Curry or someone springs one for Clearfield. See Curry's numbers tonight so far, as well as Ryan and company. He has plenty of time, and he'll heave one down the middle on the money again for Cash Deal inside the 25-yard line, and Deal's big night continues.
Oh, what a game he is having. Both sides of the football right there. He just found a soft spot right down the middle of the field, right down the alley, and a great delivery of the football by Xavier Curry. Led him right in stride.
That is a Ziegler Chevrolet first down, where cars cost less in Claysburg, and does feel like an opportunity. Plenty of time left, but for Clearfield to deliver a knockout blow. But this is where they have had all sorts of trouble offensively all night long. Right on the cusp or inside that red zone. Colton Ryan had a fumble prior to his pick six. It is Curry getting it out of his hand quickly to Cash Deal, who makes one man miss before running into Andrew Evans. That little move helps him pick up 5 on first down.
Yeah, a little wide receiver screen. Yeah, it's again the Bedford defense is kind of sitting back and allowing them to make the catch and coming up and trying to tackle the catch, to use that football phrase.
Miles Carrageen told us it's not going to be a one-man show on offense this year. He wasn't kidding. Between Colton Ryan, Elijah Glunt, Cash Deal, Cooper Broad, they have really distributed the football around, and then Curry, the plays that he can make through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that makes it tough on the defense because you can't really zero in on one guy. You give Bedford's defense a lot of credit for the pursuit they've had tonight. Like you said, the offense is keeping them guessing.
Heavy shift to the wide side of the field here, looking for some lead blocks. Curry. And Curry picks up a couple of yards. Taylor, his counterpart, makes the tackle. Here is a third down for Clearfield. Sound like a broken record, but they've been so good here tonight, except for in this area of the field.
Yeah, they've been great between the 20s. It's when they've gotten inside that red zone that the Bedford defense has stepped up and made a play, and the offense is kind of bogged down, whichever way you want to look at it.
Could be 4-down territory here. Let's see if they feed Ryan. It is Ryan. He's got a seam, and he's got a first down. Brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. takes it down to the 11-yard line, and this has been a time-consuming drive as well for Clearfield. Wagner made the stop, but not until a couple of yards after the first down.
Well, we talked about QB efficiency. That one of the keys to the game last week. Only 3 for 14 tonight, 8 for 13, 137 yards through the air for Curry. Much different story. That's what they needed out of their passing game, Brian.
Second consecutive week, you've nailed the keys to the game. Let's keep that going all year long.
Don't bet on it. You have a better chance of winning the $1 billion. And
here is Broad with that speed. Does get to the end, and he zips into the end zone. Touchdown, Clearfield. Cooper Broad from 11 yards out, and that gives Clearfield a 2-score lead with just 8:02 remaining.
You know, Cooper Broad had a 7-yard catch, 36-yard catch, I beg your pardon, in the first half. This one he runs in. He's done it on the ground and through the air, catching the football tonight. Cooper Broad having a nice football game. And as you said, Brian, the way their defense is playing, that could be it.
Bedford had an opportunity to tie the game after the turnover on downs. Could not punch it in, and that's Clearfield grabbing a stranglehold of the game. Timing is off on the kick, but Deal converts again, and it's 21-7, Clearfield in front. 8:02 to go, fourth quarter here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Once again, congratulations to tonight's Scholar Athletes. USCO Federal Credit Union is recognizing high school seniors with great accomplishments in academics, athletics, and community service this season with the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest. The contest nominees will have a shot to win a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of USCO Federal Credit Union. Complete rules at WJCTV.com/contest. Those two getting a lot of love from us tonight on the broadcast, and deservedly so. Our digital sponsor tonight, UPMC, life-changing medicine, bringing all our action to our streaming audience as well. Brian Tripp, Rick Call, and a 21-7 lead for Clearfield. Defensive touchdown, and then a pretty well-oiled machine there. Cooper Broad takes it in for his second touchdown of the game, this time on the ground from 11 yards out. And Field, which defeated Bedford 36-6 last year in a rout, got a big-time shot from Bedford early here tonight, but is starting to really find its groove as this game's rolled on.
Yeah, they're starting to take over the football game. The physicality is winning out.
Let's check out the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam quickly. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. There's nothing like high school football. Cheerleaders, band, fans, family, tradition. You see people, I know there's some people back here from Bedford tonight that have been coming to games for a real long time. A little adjustment to the routine this year, playing here in Claysburg at Claysburg Kimmel.
Sometimes you have to fly by the seat of your pants.
Working in this industry, you know that all too well.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
Deal kicks it away to Living Good. Let's see if they can get a little spark here on special teams. He's got a good wall in front of him. Takes it out near the 35-yard line, and Bedford will need a response in a big way for an offense that has just stalled out entirely here in the second half.
Well, one thing we haven't seen in the second half at all, we saw early in the football game Bennett Steele making some catches. You have not called his name since then.
He had 5 catches for 82 yards, including a long of 36 yards in the first week. The freshman son of head coach Kevin Steele. Bedford found some running lanes early, had some effective plays through the air, but coming off a tough week last week with 2 turnovers, turned it over a couple of times here in this half. There is Living Good, pitch and catch, but not much there after the catch. Colton Ryan just continues to add to his tackle total. It's a 3-yard pickup.
And Living Good a little slow to get up. Hope he's okay.
He may have to come out. He's looking over to the sideline. He's waving his sideline off. Bedford does have all 3 timeouts remaining, but taking a long time here to get this next play call in, and every second at this point precious in a 2-score game. Bedford's going to win some games this year, even if they can't come from behind here tonight. They'll be at Central Cambria next week, and then at Penn Cambria before another game here against Chestnut Ridge. Pretty manageable schedule.
We have them on Friday Night Rivals late in the season at Richland.
Through the hands of Living Good. Ryan was right there ready to make the tackle again. A lot of traffic over the middle with O'Brien Owens, another linebacker there between the hash marks. So we've got a great schedule. Who put that schedule together?
Next week on the CW, Harrisburg at State College.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
And we have Huntington at Clearfield on September 19th, so we'll get to see Clearfield again. I mentioned Bedford at Richland on October 17th.
I'm really curious where this Bedford team will be a couple of weeks from now. With how young they are, it's obviously a talented group. They hardly have ever lost. And you can see why Andrew Evans makes the catch. Dragged out of bounds by Deal, but that a monster 3rd down conversion. 17 yards. Taylor to Evans, and a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
What a throw that was by Taylor. He dropped it in between 3 defenders.
That's a senior stepping up and showing not going down without a fight. A great lead by example guy for all of these young players on this Bison's team. Puts them into Clearfield territory. You know, the whole Bisons thing has not really been that hard all night long. I thought coming in it would just be Clearfield versus Bedford. There's Living Good. Clearfield is the Bison, no S, and then Bedford is the Bisons, or Bisons, some may say, and that with an S. It is an announcer's and a graphical nightmare for many, but great job by Alicia Emmenizer and our entire crew for keeping up with that all night long.
She was telling me about that before the game. She wasn't happy about it.
This is one of those rare matchups you get in high school football. Time again. Taylor again to Living Good. And he's got a first down. Brought down by O'Brien Owens, but not until after he picks up 7. And that first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet, where cars cost less than Claysburg.
And back to that short passing game for Bedford, which has been effective here tonight for them.
And they're moving the ball with enough efficiency that the clock not yet completely an issue here for the Bisons. Talking about their upcoming schedule, Clearfield back home to take on PO next week, and then at Belfont, and then Huntington, which picked up its first win in a couple of years in week number 1. Ball on the turf, trying to make a play after the catch, and Living Good ruled on his feet, and it is ruled a fumble recovered by Clearfield. And
that'll be the 3rd turnover of the night. I'd like to see a replay of that. I thought the ground caused that fumble. We'll have to take another look here. The officials huddle up to talk about it.
Yeah, they're going to get together. Ray Klinger and his crew, they'll make a decision as we take a look and see what the right call should be. Yeah, he's absolutely down. The ground 100%, Rick, caused the fumble as he tried to lean forward for extra yards. His knees were down, and even that elbow down as he went to stretch out for the yards.
And this is a good job by the officials. I like to see them huddle up. What did you see? What did you see as they talk about it?
We obviously saw on our replay, and they don't have the benefit of replay, that this should remain Bedford football. Clear and obvious on our end. And Ray Klinger, you see a thumbs up. That's 4. It's going to be Bedford football.
Further discussion on the knee on the field. It was determined there was a knee down. It's going to be 2nd down, Bedford ball.
That's what makes Ray and his crew one of the best in the area. They get together, they get it right without the ability to review the play. Kudos by that crew right there.
Absolutely. Hats off to them.
Also keeps it a 21-7 game and keeps you tuned in. Because Bedford is on the move. Really, their second best drive. Only the second time tonight they've sustained possession, converting a few third downs, picking up some first downs, and moving the football. .548 to play. They run the clock. 21-7. Clearfield in front on a pair of second-half touchdowns. Andrew Evans up the middle had a nice seam, but immediately on contact is dropped. Clearfield, a sure tackling team. Austin Fenton, the senior defensive tackle, made the tackle. 3rd and 4, obviously 4-down territory at this point. Now that clock is becoming a problem here for Bedford. Living Good has 6 catches tonight. Instead, they catch the defense off guard and run it for the first down with Carter Kozelik. It's a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet as he picks up 13 yards, exploding on a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, he was just running along that line of scrimmage looking for a little hole. He saw it and he was able to scamper through it.
Need to get this ball into the end zone, Bedford, if they want any chance in a hurry here. Taylor takes the snap. He's got time, but no one to go with the football to. Tries to run, and then he is nailed by Fenton from behind, right at the line of scrimmage. That is, well, he got back to the line of scrimmage. May not go down as a sack, depending on the official ruling, but that is a coverage sack, if you will.
Yeah, I was just going to say, great job by the Clearfield secondary. Just nowhere to go with the football. Great pursuit by the linebackers and linemen, then to get over there and put the hit on the quarterback.
4:09 to play. 2nd and 10. At what point here does the offense think about taking a shot to the end zone? It may be here. Oh, the route was jumped, and it was nearly intercepted by Cooper Broad. Looking for Jamie Ringler.
Cooper Broad on the coverage.
I think if he delivers that ball a second earlier, it might be completed.
But once that receiver turned, Broad anticipated and jumped the route, and with his speed and that open field in front of him, he was about to take it back for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Had a reception touchdown in the 2nd quarter to tie the game at 7, and then made it a 2-score lead moments ago with an 11-yard touchdown run. Time, Taylor, end zone, taking a shot, jump ball, and in traffic it is caught by Living Good for the touchdown. How about that play? A Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee and a touchdown to make it a 1-score game with 3:52 to go. Prayer answered that time for Gray Living Good.
What a drive put together there. 11 plays, 65 yards. Keep them in this football game. And Living Good just wins the battle for the football.
15-yard touchdown pass from Taylor.
Lance to accept the extra point out of the hold of Living Good.
Extra point by Lance, and he does sneak it inside the right upright. It's a 7-point game, 3:52 to go. Bedford, big time answer. Still in it here. Don't go away. On the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Had a great game.
Do I have something here? What a night here in Glaysburg. Bedford and Clearfield squaring off week number 2. A couple of teams looking for their first win of the year, and Bedford, with its back against the wall, puts together finally another touchdown drive, 11 plays, and they go 65 yards down the field. And Gray Livingood, talk about a sophomore rising to the occasion, making a great catch in double coverage to bring his team back within 7 with 3 timeouts and 3:52 to go. Plenty of time for Bedford if they can get another stop here to answer what has been for the most part, a dominant second half by Clearfield.
Yeah, Clearfield's been really good. Bedford finding a way to pick themselves back up off the mat, and as you said, drive almost the entire length of the football field to get back within 1 score. It's been a lot of fun here tonight.
Our crew enjoying this one. Hope you are at home as well here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Both of these coaches told us during the week our kids play hard, they fight, they're coachable, great effort.
Clearfield has a lot of guys up close, expecting maybe an onside kick.
Lance, it's a pooch kick. It's in a very dangerous area, and a great alert play made by Cooper Broad. What a play by Broad to run up, get that football, had a ton of ground to cover. And then he was able to pick his way through the special teams unit and take it out to the 45. He was 1 step away from taking it to the house again.
Yeah, great execution on that kick by Lance. Great call there by Bedford, and Cooper Broad just able to read the situation and come up and get it on the hop. And you don't always get a true hop with a football. And Broad, the very sure-handed play right there.
Yeah, if they don't get a true hop off this turf surface, if this is at Bedford's Field last year, who knows where that ball's going. And on a wet night, it would have been stuck right there. That's why they're getting renovation and some turf, and it's going to be fantastic. Here's Broad, who's had a big night. We were just debating who's going to be the player of the game potentially. Well, first things first, we need to find out what the result of the football game is going to be. Picks up 2. Joseph Harker Road comes up to make the tackle. Getting some time back there at a safety spot, along with Kozelik, as they give Gabe Taylor a rest here in case he has to get back out there on the offensive side of the football, knowing that it's going to rely on his right arm probably to bring his team back.
And that's good coaching right there. A little foresight on the part of Kevin Steele.
Kozelik calling plays in that defensive secondary, and Clearfield using as much of the play clock as possible. It's down under 10 seconds. Prior to snapping the football and handing it to Colton Ryan, who drives his legs into Bedford territory. He did not pick up the first down, but it might not be the worst case scenario for Clearfield because it's 3rd and 1, and they can take some precious time off the clock with only 1 yard to gain.
Yeah, he drove his legs there, and a good surge by that offensive line, Brian.
Kevin Steele is protecting his timeouts at the moment. Clock will wind all the way down, under 2:20 to play here before Clearfield snaps the football. Play clock is still at 10 as Curry sends a man in motion. Trying to salt it away. Colton Ryan bolts forward, picks up the first down to the 42-yard line, and Kevin Steele there will take his first timeout. That first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet, and Clearfield is 1 first down away from ending the game. Great work up front, physical play here. We're going to take a timeout. Clearfield in front, 21-14, a chance to end it when we come back here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Clearfield has the football. 2 second-half scores, opening up a 21-7 lead. Bedford, a late push here, back within 7. Down to 2 timeouts and 2:18 to play, in need of a stop. Clearfield looks to pick up its first win of the year to get to 500. Colton Ryan's been the bell cow all night long. He stumbles but maintains his balance, and Ryan has a first down as he picks up 10 yards on the play, getting it right to the marker, and that very well could seal the deal for Clearfield tonight. And who else but Colton Ryan with a big play around the end.
Yeah, he's the guy you want the ball in his hands when it means the most, and he rewarded his coach right there. As you said, he stumbled a little bit, but the great balance and able to plow forward and pick up another first down.
Kevin Steele attempting to preserve time, but it's going to be a last gasp effort here for Bedford. Trying to do the math quickly. They could be out of time as we take a look at tonight's Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. And this drive of the game, capped by Cooper Broad's second touchdown. It came here in this second half, an 11-yard touchdown run. Bedford got the defensive score, but then what was just an outstanding drive. It was relatively short, 6 plays, right? Capped by the 11-yard run, but the game sealing and probably deciding touchdown tonight.
Yeah, and that may be the touchdown right there. They look back and say that really turned their whole season around. I mean, there's a huge difference, obviously, between 1-1 and 2-0. And, the great patience on that run, too. He was just looking for something, looking for a little seam to get through. He found it. He turned it upfield. The great speed. And a huge, huge play in this game.
I'll say this, too. Clearfield will play 3 of its next 4 games at home. Longest road trip in that stretch. The only road trip is just to Bellefonte, one of the closer games for them. And a very manageable schedule until a late test against Bishop Guilfoyle for a Clearfield team that looks pretty good here tonight. Both these teams do. One more first down, and that will do it. Colton Ryan slips his way for 2. So that's the Clearfield perspective moving forward, right? Good performance, great bounce back. Tough loss last week down at the wire. Bedford had a rough one. Week number 1, lost 39-7 to Bishop McCourt. They'll be at Central Cambria next week, then at Penn Cambria. Playing away from home all year, but really going on the road the next couple of weeks. But a lot to build on should they not pull a rabbit out of their hat late here tonight.
I was just going to say that, Brian. There's so much from a Bedford standpoint that you can look at and say, we did this well, we did this well, we can build on this, we can build on that. They're a young team. Obviously, Kevin Steele, one of the best coaches around, and he's going to look at the film and say, I think he's going to keep it positive. I don't think he's going to make this a negative game for his club. He's going to look at this young team, look at this effort against a really good Clearfield team, and he's going to try to insert some new things, I would think, from a defensive standpoint. They have to get off the field a little bit quicker. They gave up some yardage tonight, that bend don't break defense, but still a lot of good things there from Bedford.
And you start to look where they are long-term, playing at a lower classification in District 5. There's chance for this young group, as they get older and get more experience this year, there's a chance for this group still to write some history for Bedford, even if the first 2 weeks don't go as planned. Really, I think played well in their scrimmage, too, against Westmont. Played pretty well here tonight against a very good Clearfield team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not over yet, but we're getting close with Bedford down to just 1 timeout remaining. Actually, I think they may be out of timeouts. That may be wrong. As Ryan gets to the edge, it's not going to matter. First down, Colton Ryan. Spins off a tackle, barrels down near the 15-yard line. Colton Ryan puts it away. Clearfield's coming out of here with a win. And Bedford was indeed out of timeouts. 21-14 the score, and that first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. And, man, when they needed the big plays late, he was the guy. Going to victory formation. I think you're going to be talking to him in a couple of minutes.
I think he's going to be the man. I stick the microphone in his face and ask him a few questions.
He made the big play of the night was that pick six. That turned the game.
And that came right after he turned the football over on the previous drive. And, boy, you talk about immediate redemption for that young man, Brian. That's pretty huge.
That's what I was trying to say moments ago. Made it 14-7, opened up a 21-7 lead. Bedford got one late, made it interesting, but couldn't get a big stop at the end. Clearfield and that offense took over here in the second half.
Yeah, they did, and we're going to hear more from this team this year. You can see Curry getting better. He was very efficient throwing the football tonight. That was one thing that Miles Carrageen talked about, their QB efficiency and how they weren't able to throw the ball very well last week. He just looks like he's getting better and better.
Ryan had 88 yards in week 1. Here tonight, 20 carries, 95 yards. And 8 of Ryan's 20 carries were for first downs tonight. An outstanding game by him and an outstanding game by Clearfield. They improved to 1-1. They win it here in week number 2, 21-14. The final score as the Bison knock off the Bisons. 21-14, the final score here tonight.
We'd like to thank
We'll still have post-game coming up, but let's now take a
This
look
is
at
the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Here is tonight's school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. It's that big hit by Cash Deal on Gray Livingood, and a punishing physical football game tonight. That is our school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. Paid for
This
by
is the
NHTSA.
school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
What a game we have here tonight. Always love to see the sportsmanship between the two teams afterward. Week number 2 already in the books. Clearfield 21, Bedford 14, the final score. Stay tuned. We'll have more post-game here coming up in just a minute. They're going to get ready to go near Rick and get the Friday Night Rivals trophy. So Clearfield gets set to celebrate and pick up our trophy here. Rick will talk to the player of the game. Could choose from Cooper Broad. Xavier Curry managed the offense well tonight. Certainly Colton Ryan, the great game he had. A whole plethora of players to pick from. Or Cash Deal, who's flipping for victories tonight. And the same for Colton Ryan out on the field. I don't think you could see it from the shot we had right there, but the Clearfield players were lined up on both sides, and you had Ryan and Deal head over heels with their victory. 21-14 is the final score. We'll be in State College next week for Harrisburg and State College. Rick has the trophy. They're going to gather around him right now here, and Rick's getting the troops lined up. Tough one for Bedford tonight. They're all here as well. I think Rick's getting ready to go, and I think we are ready. Miles Carrageen, Colton Ryan, and Rick Hall down on the field. It's time for tonight's Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals winner to receive the Friday Night Rivals trophy, courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Rick is with the winning team down on the field.
Back, Xavier Curry. You talked about his mechanics and him getting better week by week. He looked really sharp tonight.
Yes, he had a great week of practice. He got focused. He learned from his mistakes last week, and he executed.
Colton, what'd you see on that interception that made you able to make that play and take it back for the touchdown?
Yeah, so I was playing man-to-man. I was staying right on his inside hip. He got to the outside. I followed him, saw the ball in the air, fought for it, caught it, and ran to the end zone, man, and celebrated with my team. It was awesome.
How much do you feel like you have to, kind of lead the way for this team, being one of the veteran guys?
It's a big role in a team, and with everyone here, a couple guys just can't do it. So we got to get the team ready, and it's a huge deal.
How much better is it to be 1-1 as compared to 0-2? How much confidence does that give you guys moving forward?
It's awesome. It's a great confidence booster. We fought for it. We knew coming in here we had to earn it, and it wasn't going to be easy.
Well, we appreciate the time. I'm going to present you guys with the Friday Night Rivals Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Clearfield.
Great job, guys.
That has been a familiar sight for that program the last few years. Clearfield wins it by a 21-14 final score tonight. They can enjoy that trophy. And again, that's courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Today's broadcast was sponsored by the Good Feet Store and Levin Furniture. Promotional consideration also provided by UPMC, UMH Properties, Ziegler Chevrolet, Bud's Auto Sales, American Legion County Fair, Burger and Green Attorneys at Law, Priority First Federal Credit Union, Usco Federal Credit Union, Wendy's, West Central Equipment, NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Crawford's Gift Shop, Thomas Feed Mill, and Keystone Engraving. Friday Night Rivals is a production of Sports Fever Television Network for Sinclair Broadcasting Group. For more information, go to sportsfevertv.net. Oh, there's a chill in the air. Felt like football tonight. We had a great game. Came down to the wire. Clearfield with a big second half, able to pull away and then put it away late in a tight one opposite Bedford. Great work by our entire crew all night long. For my partner, Rick Hall, I'm Brian Tripp saying so long from Claysburg tonight, where Clearfield picks up its first win of the 2025 campaign, and week 2 of the high school football season is in the books. We will talk to you next week from State College, Harrisburg and State College. We dance with the big boys next week. Hopefully that game matches all the excitement we had here tonight. We'll play you out with the greatest hits, the greatest highlights of tonight's game. Talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.